Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Samantha Miller. I am the Cats Aren't Trophies campaign manager. And we've got a lively crowd today. And if you're going to cheer for me, you have to cheer for Mark Searles, who's our volunteer coordinator and also here. And Julie's back there too, so don't forget her. We'll cheer for everybody. But my biggest gratitude that I wanted to express before we get into our program is for you guys, for our volunteers that are here with us today, our volunteers that have joined us virtually. We had 900 volunteers across the state that we're all working to collect signatures to ensure that bobcats, mountain lions, and Canada lynx can no longer be fur trapped or trophy hunted in Colorado. And we qualified for the ballot with you guys. So thank you to you first. So today we're really excited to share this campaign with you. We do have a video that we plan to start off with, and that I just want to give a full disclosure that the video can be hard to watch, but I believe that once we see mountain lion trophy hunting and bobcat fur trapping for what it is, once we witness it in its own words and in their own words really is what we'll see, you can't turn a blind eye to it anymore, that this kind of practice is cruel, it's inhumane, it's unethical, and it has no place in Colorado. So I will start off with the video and then we'll go into some speakers. So that video is really hard to watch, but it's the truth. And I think that sunlight is the best disinfectant. So that is what is happening in our state. More than 500 mountain lions are killed by trophy hunters every year in Colorado, most of them with packs of dogs. It's legal to hunt mountain lions with packs of up to 8 dogs wearing GPS collars. Those dogs will trap a lion in a tree or on a cliff, and then the trophy hunter can just walk up and kill the cat like we saw in those videos. Bobcats can also be hunted that way too. Then bobcats can also be commercially fur trapped. Any trapper can trap an unlimited number of bobcats and then sell their fur. So what you saw were photos of a fur auction We do have fur auctions here in Colorado of our Colorado bobcat furs. And then those furs are sold to markets abroad in China and Russia. Canada lynx are included in our measure because while they enjoy endangered species protections right now, the leading known cause of Canada lynx mortality is gunshot. So these are folks that are out hunting bobcats that might shoot a lynx on accident, if we're giving them credit for that. But also so Canada lynx will enjoy enduring protections, right? So if they lose their endangered species protections, if they recover, that they won't be subjected to this cruel and inhumane trapping and trophy hunting. So with that, I'd like to start bringing some of our campaign members up, and I'd like to start with Pat Craig, who hosted us here at his fantastic sanctuary. Pat is incredible. He is the founder of the Wild Animal Sanctuary. We all love Pat. He's our go-to guy for high stakes rescues, and this sanctuary here that we're here at today is one of the largest for big cats in the world. So welcome, Pat.
Thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very kind. Thank you very much. Well, thank you guys for coming today. And you know, it's amazing just the few minutes that I had to talk to the volunteers that collected so many signatures. It's just an incredible amount of work that you guys did. I can't even begin to fathom that. I think that feeding 100,000 pounds of food a week is a lot, but trying to gather, you know, all those thousands and thousands of signatures, you guys really did a great job. So thank you. But thank you, Sam. I appreciate it very much. And Julie and Mark and everybody that's in the campaign too. You guys worked so hard to make this happen. So again, I'm honored to just be able to have this here today and to have all you join us. But I do have a little bit of a speech that I want to do and talk about the issue. It's very near and dear to me because I'm a Colorado native and I've grown up here my whole life with mountain lions and always wondered, you know, how amazing it was that they were one of the very few cats that's not been hunted into, you know, either threatened or endangered or whatever. And that we finally, you know, have these animals here that coexist so well with people that it's a shame that we're actually in this position where people are hunting them. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time has come for us to put an end to the cruel and senseless slaughter of Colorado's magnificent mountain lions and bobcats. I'm here today to announce that all Colorado voters have a new and incredible opportunity to save thousands of innocent lives, while at the same time bringing an end to one of the cruelest and most cowardly practices that I've ever witnessed. I have been rescuing big cats for decades, and from the most horrific cruelty at the hands of humans for no good reason, and make no mistake, chasing lions with dogs to shoot them in trees and trapping and skinning bobcats to sell their furs is excessive cruelty. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Cats Aren't Trophies ballot measure will enable us to make a major step in the right direction. This new initiative, when passed in November by the voters of Colorado, will bring an end to the trophy hunting of mountain lions while still allowing for the necessary control of animals that threaten human safety and livestock. Let's be clear, mountain lions and bobcats are not food sources, as many callous individuals like to suggest. Instead, they're hunted solely for their heads and their beautiful coats. This practice is extremely outdated, completely wasteful, and simply barbaric. Trophy hunters, who are often wealthy outsiders, come to Colorado in order to hire guides and unleash packs of dogs to chase and harass innocent animals to their demise. It's cowardly and it's inhumane practice that guarantees a kill regardless of the animal's age or sex. This is not hunting, it's exploitation. Contrary to popular belief, mountain lions are essential to our ecosystem. They play a vital role in regulating deer and elk populations and help to prevent the spread of chronic wasting disease. Tragically, trophy hunters disproportionately target female lions, which cause vulnerable kittens to be orphaned and left to fend for themselves, often leading to starvation and death. It's time for us to put an end to this senseless killing. Let's protect our wildlife and ensure a healthy ecosystem for generations to come. Please vote yes on this measure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Pat's a Colorado hero and one of my personal heroes, so thank you. Okay, so next we have a speaker that will be virtual and is zooming in, and that's Dallas Gudgel. He is the Wildlife and Tribal Policy Director for the International Wildlife Coexistence Network, and which is among the 100 wildlife conservation organizations endorsing cats. That's right, we have about 100 wildlife organizations that support us, which is great. Gudgel is an experienced environmental scientist and a member of the Fort Peck Assiniboine, please fix that if I was incorrect in my pronunciation, Dallas, and Sioux tribes. He is originally from the Fort Peck Reservation. So Dallas, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. It's great to see all these beautiful faces here. Pehanawashte Amachiape, Dallas Gudgel. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dallas Gudgel. As she was saying, I'm the Tribal Policy Director, Wildlife Director for the International Wildlife Coexistence Network. And I am a member of the Fort Peck Assiniboine and Sioux tribes of northeastern Montana. I'm Yankton, Dakota, so part of the Lakota Nation, of the Dakota speaking dialect. I'm happy to see the citizen initiative to allow voters of Colorado to choose protections for wild species that should be held in trust for all citizens. Mountain lions and wildcats have intrinsic value in and of themselves. Mountain lions and wildcats are an important part of the balance of the natural world, and are key to the balance of nature and our non-human relatives. In Dakota culture, our four-legged relatives are viewed in that respect. We call them our relatives. Lions and wildcats should exist and thrive in their natural habitat, in their self-sustaining and self-regulating populations without human persecution. As two-leggeds, we must recognize that we are a part of the natural world as well, and not separate from it. It is our responsibility as humans to recognize, honor, and maintain our balance in the natural world and to coexist with our non-human relatives. And whether they have wings, roots, fins, no legs, 2 legs, 4 legs, all of our relatives, and allow them to thrive while playing their important role in the balance of nature. And these apex predators do that, and they need to be able to do that. In the pursuit of wildlife and human coexistence, it is our job to change human behavior when excessive use is at play. It's not our job to change the predator's behavior or the natural world's behavior. It's to change human behavior. As an Indigenous person raised in and concerned with a framework of right relationship with the natural world, I find trophy hunting an egocentric activity that upends this balance in nature. I support the People's Initiative to participate in a democratic process to protect wildcats from the senseless misuse that is currently occurring. I prefer, in the interest of the public trust of these wild animals, to allow them to roam free for the enjoyment of all. So I'm happy to support this ballot initiative and thank all of the volunteers who made this happen. Thank you.
Eric, you have the floor.
Well, thank you. My name is Eric Molvar, and I'm a lifelong hunter. And I've hunted elk, deer, pronghorn, caribou, and other species to put food on the table. It seems like the hunters and organizations who appear most frequently in the media come from one extreme of the hunting spectrum, those who want to defend all types of hunting and trapping at all costs. But many hunters are like me. They subscribe to hunting ethics, like the fair chase principle. Running mountain lions for miles with multiple dogs until they climb into a tree and then shooting them out of that tree at point blank range, that's not fair chase. The prey animal doesn't have a fair chance to escape, and the hunters aren't taking the quarry using their own skills and knowledge. Catching lynx or bobcats in traps isn't sporting either, because baiting an animal into a hidden trap using scents or meat as bait is unfair and underhanded. We don't allow the baiting of elk and deer with salt blocks because it's cheating. We shouldn't allow cats to be baited for exactly the same reasons. Hunting for big cats is trophy hunting, pure and simple. It's not to fill the freezer, it's to bring home a trophy. Maybe have a scary taxidermy mount to put on your wall or on your mantelpiece to brag about and impress your friends. That doesn't respect the quarry, which is one of the fundamental principles of hunting ethics, so it doesn't deserve any particular respect by the general public either. Most hunters who take cats don't eat the meat. This is called wanton waste when you don't save everything and eat the meat, and is treated as a crime for other game species in many states, including Colorado. I was taught that you should never kill an animal that you don't intend to eat, and that there's an ethical responsibility to make sure that no meat is wasted. It's just not possible for an ethical hunter to justify hunting and trapping for mountain lions, for bobcats, or for lynx, and there are plenty of other species to hunt that aren't so problematic under hunting ethics. It's time to end practices like cat hunting and trapping, which are an embarrassment to legitimate hunters. It's the 21st century. Let's end this practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. I think okay, there we go. Thank you, Eric. Next, I'd like to welcome an in-person speaker, Dr. Valerie Johnson. She is one of the big cat veterinarians here at the Wild Animal Sanctuary. She has a DVM and a PhD. So welcome to the stage, Valerie.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank CATS for inviting me and for all the incredibly hard work that they've done to get this on the ballot. There are many reasons why I support this initiative, and I'm just going to tell you about a couple of them. So first of all, as a veterinarian, I've pledged to help society through the protection of animal health, through prevention and relief of animal suffering, and conservation of animal resources. When I hear the term hunting, like most people, I think of somebody going out and tracking a deer in the woods during deer season, shooting that deer in a fair manner that requires skill, and taking that meat and freezing it and eating it. I don't think of somebody who goes out and tricks an animal to stay in one spot so they can shoot it in the head and then takes their head and mounts it on the wall and just disposes of the rest of the animal. That's not hunting to me. It's to me the same thing as people who pay enormous amounts of money to go to Africa and kill an African lion in a reserve where they breed them and stick them in a tight spot. The exact same thing as people who cut the tusks off elephants and rhinos, all just for trophies and to have a part of the animal's body. That one of the reasons why hunting is legal of deer and elk and all those species is because those species on their own reach numbers that overwhelm the natural resources. And because the predators have been hunted down in a lot of cases, including big cats, wolves, and natural predators of these animals, the prey species kind of overgrow their resources. And so humans come in as we're part of the ecosystem too. And so many licenses are given depending on the population of the deer or elk that year. And these animals are hunted for population control. Now, as we continue to mess with the ecosystem and kill these animals for absolutely no reason, we're going to only promote the overpopulation of elk and deer, who then run out in the middle of the road and get killed, who then starve to death because they don't have enough food to eat. When I was on a trip to Africa several years ago, I was going on a safari and amazed to see how few African lions were actually out. I think I saw one lion, and there were just herds and herds of deer and gazelle. And I was told by my guide that the lions had been hunted to near extinction, and because of that, they had all these prey species that were in overabundance and unable to sustain themselves. So the same sort of thing can happen here. And we don't want that with our native big cat species. I've worked at the sanctuary, I've seen a lot of people who have taken big cats as live trophies and kept them in horrible conditions. This to me is similar to what these people are doing, except that at least these cats can be rescued and we can save them. And one of the greatest joys in my life is seeing an animal who's come from such a situation go out into the large habitats and start to act like a big cat again. It's amazing to see. In this enlightened age and educated country, I find it appalling that as a society, we could condone the killing of animals just for the pleasure of killing. The suffering that it causes is maybe not as immediately apparent as things like leg hold traps, which we outlawed in this state 30 years ago. But the suffering is in the form of disease and starvation of prey animals who then are overgrown. And it's in the form of kittens that die of dehydration and starvation because their mothers have been killed. It's in the form of people getting killed by the overabundance of deer that go out on the highway and getting into car crashes. Suffering is suffering, and this causes suffering. Not only does it cause suffering, but as many others have pointed out, it's unethical. It is unworthy of human beings to kill something just for the sake of killing. It's not good for the ecosystem. It's not good for the humans that live in it. It's not good for Colorado, and it's not good for society. So with that, I will let others speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Next, we have a virtual guest joining us, and that's Representative Tammy Story. She served. She serves as a member of the Colorado House of Representatives, representing District 25. She serves on the House Education Committee and Agriculture, Water, and Natural Resources Committee. So welcome, Tammy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. I'm honored to be among all of you today. My sincere gratitude to all who engaged in collecting signatures to ensure this effort lands on the ballot in November. Congratulations on a job well done. Thank you for hosting Wild Animal Sanctuary. I'm Tammy Story, State Representative for District 25. I serve the people in the foothills of Jefferson County and a small portion of unincorporated Littleton. I'm thrilled to share in the excitement with all of you today of this historic ballot initiative, Cats Aren't Trophies. I have seen mountain lions and bobcats in the wild on my property multiple times over in my almost 40 years in Colorado. Throughout my adult life, I've continually voiced my opposition to the trophy hunting of wildlife, including mountain lions and bobcats. The cruel killing of these animals for their fur coats and heads is just plain wrong. Unbelievably, this isn't illegal in Colorado. This ballot initiative is the next vitally important step towards needed change. Mountain lions, bobcats, and lynx play a crucial role in our natural world. Science reveals that they are essential for maintaining a balanced deer and elk population. This balance not only helps reduce hazardous car accidents, but also allows these beautiful cats to target prey affected by chronic wasting disease, a condition that is debilitating for deer and elk. We must stop wealthy trophy hunters who target and kill these cats, many of them mothers, leaving their kittens orphaned and alone. The greatest consequence these trophy hunters receive, an all too easily paid $8,000 fee. Trapping and killing bobcats and mountain lions should not be a commercial enterprise. I'm sickened that these hunters are able to sell these beautiful animals' pelts for profit. We have banned unethical hunting before, and we must do it again. By passing this ballot initiative, we can finally put an end to these cruel, unnecessary killings. Join me in supporting this initiative. I can't wait to see this pass in November and celebrate with all of you.
Thank you, Representative. And up next, we've got Mickey Pardo. He's a conservation biologist and ecologist. Dr. Pardo's scientific work has been widely featured in the New York Times, NPR, National Geographic, Scientific American, and the BBC. So welcome, Mickey. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks. So as a biologist who has been studying wildlife for over 15 years, I support the CATS ballot measure to ban trophy hunting and trapping of wild cats in Colorado. And the reason for that is that the scientific evidence is clear that hunting these animals is completely unnecessary, and the methods used to hunt them are exceptionally cruel. Mountain lions are an apex predator, so their populations are self-regulating, and there's no need for human hunting to prevent them from becoming overpopulated. Also, predators like mountain lions play an important role in keeping elk and deer populations healthy by reducing the spread of infectious diseases like chronic wasting disease. Mountain lion attacks on humans are exceptionally rare. As a wildlife ecologist, I've personally spent years living and working in mountain lion country, and I've seen mountain lions walk by camera traps mere yards from my house, and some of my colleagues have even come face to face with them in the woods at night. Never once has any of us been attacked. And in fact, in the last 50 years in Colorado, I looked this up, only one person has ever been killed by a mountain lion compared to 100 people who died in hunting accidents over the same period. So there's no need to worry that not banning hunting mountain lions will increase risk to human lives. More importantly, studies show that hunting mountain lions is completely ineffective at reducing attacks on people, pets, and livestock. And in fact, it may even lead to an increase in such attacks. And this seems counterintuitive, but it makes sense when you consider that hunters tend to target large male mountain lions who make the most desirable trophies. And when one of these mature territorial individuals is killed, several immature males from surrounding areas often move in to take his place. And immature mountain lions are much more likely to cause problems for people because they're less experienced at hunting wild prey. Finally, the methods used to hunt cats like mountain lions and bobcats are extremely cruel. Wealthy trophy hunters pay thousands of dollars to hire commercial guides and use packs of dogs to chase mountain lions up a tree where the hunter can shoot them with ease. And nearly 50% of the mountain lions shot in Colorado are females, which often leaves orphaned kittens to starve to death. As for bobcats, they're typically caught in traps where they suffer for hours or even days before being shot, bludgeoned, or strangled to death by the trapper. Even though technically the hunters are required to check traps every 24 hours, there's no real enforcement mechanism to make sure that they do that. And bobcat trappers sell bobcat furs overseas to fashion companies. This flies in the face of the North American model of wildlife management, which recognizes that commercialized hunting places wildlife populations at risk. The ballot measure to ban these outdated and unnecessary practices is a common sense, scientifically sound, and long overdue change to our wildlife laws in Colorado. As a wildlife ecologist, I plan to vote yes, and I encourage everyone else who cares about wildlife to do the same.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pardo. And from Dr. Pardo, we go to Dr. Christine Capaldo, who is a veterinarian in southwestern Colorado with experience working with big cats and training at various sanctuaries regarding carnivore behavior and medical care. She has a special interest in feline medicine. So Christine.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Christine Capaldo, and I'm a veterinarian in Southwest Colorado. Today, we celebrate that there may finally be an end to the inhumane and vile acts of cruelty committed towards bobcats and mountain lions in Colorado. It's been over 7 years since I learned that a bobcat in my community was trapped and strangled to death by a trapper for its fur. A witness to the killing said it was gruesome. Strangulation, bludgeoning to death, and other cheap, inhumane methods used to kill bobcats are condemned by veterinary professionals and constitute cruelty to animals. In addition, thousands of traps are set by bobcat trappers on public and private lands every year, unattended, posing a serious safety threat to children, pets, and other wildlife. There's no scientific basis to kill bobcats because they self-regulate their populations and will not overpopulate if not hunted. Bobcats are essential to healthy ecosystems by naturally controlling rodent populations without the need for harmful rodenticides. Allowing unlimited numbers of bobcats to be killed and skinned every year in Colorado isn't about any type of wildlife biology management. It's about greed, trophies, the despicable fur trade in China, and a complete disregard for the welfare of wildlife. It's a recipe for extinction of the species. Colorado's native wild cats are not for sale, and we will not tolerate this cruelty. We need to get out of the 1800s and join the other states and nations that don't allow bobcat or mountain lion hunting. In November, join me and my community in voting yes to protect Colorado's cats. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Capaldo. Next up is my friend and a rural Colorado goat rancher, Deanna Meyer. So welcome to the stage, Deanna.
Thank you very much. My name is Deanna Meyer, and I was born and raised here in Colorado. I am excited to see so many of us come together to protect Colorado's wildlife. What we all accomplished with the signature phase of this campaign is incredible, and I offer my deepest thanks for each and every one of you. My family lives on land we have put into a conservation easement that encompasses an elk calving ground and is surrounded by national forest. I have depended on this land for my food source for 17 years, with elk meat that fills my freezer. I also raise goats and chickens, and I sell goat milk shares. Providing my own food from the land is a central part of my life. I work hard to ensure the safety of my animals by using non-lethal methods to make it less likely that the predators will be enticed to find an easy meal. I have had the privilege of seeing mountain lions and bobcats on this land, and I understand the essential role they play in biodiversity. Several years ago, when I first learned that hundreds of mountain lions and bobcats were being killed each and every year in Colorado, I knew I had an ethical responsibility to protect these animals from this needless and cruel form of thrill killing. With this new awareness, I started seeing posts on my neighborhood group of dogs with GPS collars being reported as lost, and then hunting guides commenting that their dogs were not lost, but learning to track down lions and bobcats. I started putting up trail cameras throughout my land during these hunting seasons and caught several images of these dogs roaming on our private property that we have worked to protect. Then, one Christmas Day 2 years ago, multiple dogs were barking and I followed the sounds, finding 6 dogs who treated terrified bobcat on our own land. I was infuriated when I found out that there was nothing I could do. If this initiative passes, it will end this harassment and protect lions and bobcats who are not causing conflicts with humans. Mountain lions and bobcats are apex predators, and their services are necessary to keep the biotic community healthy. Their presence improves the health of elk and deer herds. Killing these animals for their heads and beautiful coats is immoral and damaging to the wildlife our family works hard to protect. Passing this initiative will give CPW the legal tools to focus on protecting, not killing these species. I know Coloradans will stand behind us and codify into law that cats aren't trophies. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. You're amazing. Our last speaker is Delia Malone. She is Wildlife Chair of the Colorado Sierra Club, which is the state chapter of one of the true leading wildlife conservation groups of Colorado and one of 100 organizations officially endorsing cats. Malone is a working field ecologist and also a member of the Sierra Club's Roaring Fork Group's executive committee and Vice Chair of Roaring Fork Audubon, which is one of 6 Audubon societies also endorsing cats. Welcome, Delia.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Julie, and all of the amazing volunteer heroes who accomplished this critical first step in ending unethical trophy hunting. So, good morning. I'm Delia Malone. I am an ecologist and live in Redstone on Colorado's West Slope, where I've worked conducting ecological and biological surveys for several decades. These surveys primarily consist of a lot of walking around on our public lands, typically several hundred miles each field season, to seek out rare plants, animals, and natural communities for the purpose of conserving them. Over all these years, I've been lucky enough to catch a glimpse of cougars only a half a dozen times or so, although I know from finding their fresh tracks, scat, and kills that they've watched me many, many times. At my home in Redstone, which borders roadless areas, we're lucky enough to have a cougar family that has lived in the forest above us for generations. Although we only occasionally catch a glimpse of mom and kittens, we've never had a negative encounter with the cougar family. Conservation of Colorado's wildlife and wildlands depends on using science to provide the facts that properly guide sustainable and ethical decisions about our natural world. What I've witnessed and what science supports is that cougars are a vital component of Colorado's ecosystem. Cougars help keep mule deer populations healthy by selectively removing weak and diseased animals. And as of April 24th, chronic wasting disease has been detected in 42 of Colorado's 51 deer herds. Cougar science informs that they, unlike ungulates such as mule deer, regulate their own populations and are important in moderating deer populations. By moderating deer populations, cougars prevent overbrowsing, keeping vegetation healthy, vegetation which provides habitat for birds and stabilizes stream banks, which maintains healthy stream habitat for amphibians, fish, and waterfowl. Cougar trophy hunting is often justified as a tool to reduce human attacks and predation on livestock and big game species. There is no scientific evidence that cougar trophy hunting achieves these accomplishments. Trophy hunting and killing a native wildlife species that plays a vital role in ecosystem health, such as cougars, is not conservation. Not only is the trophy hunting of mountain lions ecologically unsustainable, contributing to the downward spiral of the health of our wildlands and the loss of biological diversity, but because trophy killing contradicts the science, it is ethically wrong and should be outlawed. Please support me and the Colorado Sierra Club in banning the unethical trophy hunting of cougars and trapping of bobcats. And thank you all so much for this important first step in becoming a more ethical place to live.